and they're off. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Belmont Park. And the beautiful weather continues here in Elmont, New York. Sunny skies today. The temperature will be in the mid-80s. The main track is fast and the turf courses are firm. The portable rails are up at 18 feet on both the Widener and the Inner. No carryover today in the pick six, and here are today's changes. And there are no changes in today's first race. Please note that today's second race is the first leg of today's Pick 3 triple play. The triple play today will take in races 2, 5, and 9. No changes in the second. There are no changes in the third. As mentioned, race 4 starts the Pick 6. In the fourth race, number 3, Feliciano, will run with blinkers off. Blinkers off, number 3, Feliciano. Also note that Feliciano is a gelding and has run as a gelding previously. Number 7, Flute Master, is a ridgeling. On to race 5, couple of scratches there. Scratch 2, Translate, and 9, Alpine Queen. In the fifth scratch, numbers 2 and 9. In the sixth race, note that number 3 will be 1 pound over. Seventh race, the 8 is 1 pound over. Today's eighth race, the Dancin' Renee Stakes. Scratch 4, Chasing Cara, and 5, Queen Arella. Scratch 4 and 5, and note that number 8 is 1 pound over. 9 races today. In Belmont's ninth race, the 4 and 7 will both be 1 pound over. Scratch the also eligibles. 13, Janny May, through the 16, Roz. Scratch 13, 14, 15, and 16 out of the ninth. Main track fast, turf courses firm. We'll be back at 12:30 to reprise the changes. First race post today is at 1 p.m. Up next, Greg and Anthony talking horses.
Welcome to the Sunday edition of Talking Horses. Greg Wolf, Anthony Stabile, good to see you.
You as well. What's happening?
Going to try and rebound from what I know was a tough Saturday for the two of us.
I thought we discussed not talking about this.
We're done with it. We're moving forward.
It's like Fight Club. We don't talk about it. It's
Real
against the
quick,
rules.
what did you think of Gerrymander's performance?
Loved it yesterday. Great ride by Joel Rosario. He played a little cat and mouse with both Shahama later on and earlier in the game with Juju's map, kind of leaving for position, making Juju's map chase a little bit early and then taking back and letting Shahama do some dirty work. It was a brilliant ride for a filly who, by into mischief, out of a dam that's already produced Lone Rock. So distance should not be a problem for her. She hasn't been around 2 turns yet. I'm looking forward to that. Chad Brown mentioned the Alabama. That's fantastic to throw her hat into that ring. Let's see how he gets her there. Coaching Club American Oaks probably makes the most sense up at Saratoga, going 9 furlongs around the 2 turns. Beautiful progression. One turn, mile and a 16th, to the 2 turns, mile and an 1/8. And, yeah, I've always liked this filly. I know Chad's always been a fan of this filly. And if you draw that proverbial line, like he said yesterday on America's Day at the Races, through the 8 bells, she could be 95 by her speed figure yesterday, Greg.
Yeah, horrible break in that comeback race. That race was a toss-out.
Yep.
She had that inside post on a weird track that day, and Chad said he wasn't concerned about it. And, again, as you said, a half-sister to the ultimate marathoner in this sport the last couple of years, Lone Rock. Should love a 1.25 miles. We will find out. Secret Oath, Nest. Looks like she has a date booked with those two coming up this summer.
That'll be fun. I'll tell you one thing, she has more than Secret Oath and Nest, a ton of speed. As these distances get longer, she'll be able to use her speed. I think it was a nice move by Joelle yesterday, getting her to rate. She rated successfully yesterday. She also has plenty of speed. She is a very, very dangerous 3-year-old filly moving forward in the second half of the year.
It's going to be a fun summer, as always, upstate. Let's get some business out of the way before we get into today's card. Get signed up if you have not already. $200 deposit match sign-up bonus. Promo code for new members. Match 200. And bet any track, anywhere, anytime at NYRABets.com or on the NYRABets app.
Yes. Javier's looking up and saying, why wasn't I on Gerrymander? So this is fun. Saratoga's right around the corner. Starting tomorrow, bet $20 each weekday, Monday through Friday. And on Saturday, you'll have $20 in your account, win or lose during the week. $20 each day. There will be plays up every day this week. Tomorrow, the plays will be up for, hold on to your seats, folks, Assiniboia Downs and Yonkers. We're going to double dip on promotions that involve Yonkers and Assiniboia on Mondays. Tuesday, going to have plays up for Parks and Horseshoe Indy. Wednesday, we'll come to Churchill Downs when America's Day at the Races returns, and then Thursday and Friday obviously plays right here at beautiful Belmont Park. But there will be a play or two up. There should be 2 plays up every day over at Naira Bets. We'll tweet them out from at Naira Bets on Twitter, from at the Big Ace Stabile. I'll retweet them. Head on over. This is a fantastic promotion. You'll have that free double sawbuck on Saturday to kick things off 4th of July weekend.
And bet $50 each on Belmont and Monmouth, and you're getting a $10 bonus in your account. Whether you win or lose, as always, you got to opt in at NYRABets.com.
Opt into everything. Is the old 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Bet 50 at each place. Here's 10 back. Throw it. The Yankees couldn't hit any fastballs yesterday. I was talking to John and Brielle, big Yankee fan, about that. A big no-hitter in the Bronx yesterday on the wrong end of it.
All I had to listen to all the way into work is it championship or bust. Can't you just appreciate what a great season they've had to this point?
They're Yankees fans. No, of course they can't.
Here's a look at our schedule today. We're all over the place. We begin on FS1, 12:30 Eastern start time. Jump over to FS2 at 1:30. Back on FS1 at 3:30. You and I are on together to kick things off.
Can't wait. Got to try and get some of that money back. I feel good today. It's our Friday, right? It's a little warm out here, but what are you going to do?
It's a beautiful day.
You California kids gonna love weather like this. I'm melting here. It's like I'm reducing
Just
today.
wait till you get to Saratoga.
I woke up today, made one of the healthiest decisions ever. I went to fruit for breakfast. I passed up Mom's bacon and eggs.
I like that.
For fruit. It's just way too hot to be eating anything too heavy.
And you feel good.
So I feel great. I feel like I could eat nails.
Let's see if it translates here into our card this afternoon. We can make some money. Let's get into it. We start with $10,000 claiming race, 6 furlong sprint, and you and I go in a little bit different directions here to kick things off. Go ahead.
I'm going to come out guns blazing today, Greg. Number 2 here. 3-1 on the morning line. I wouldn't want to make a morning line for any race. David does an amazing job. This is a tough race to make a line for. You know, you have the horses dropping out of the starters. You have horses dropping from the quarter. A lot of droppers in here, in fact. Everybody dropping in here except the horse I picked. And I think in a race
So she
like
has
this.
form, yeah.
Yeah, in a race like this, that's a good sign. Because this is what Guns Blazing is now. He's a 10 claimer, right? Unlike other horses who are dropping to this level, some for the first time, trying to refine some form, trying to figure out where they fit on the claiming ladder now. We know where he fits. He fits right here. He's had some consistency in his last 3 starts. I know he hasn't run since April. But last time he came back in 3 weeks, and less than 3 weeks, actually 2 weeks, 15 days, and she ran well enough. She'll be off the speed in here. She's got plenty of speed, but she's not as fast as Grudge and Missing Link. I think it just leaves her and Jose Lascano in a brilliant spot early on in here. I think she kind of trips out, so I went to the deuce, Guns Blazing. Trying to start the day that way.
I looked at her, 3 of her 4 wins coming on off tracks. I thought her best win at 6 furlongs was when she had the lead, and as you said, she's not going to get it here.
No, she shouldn't.
And that's why I went to the horse who I think is actually going to be in front. I think Missing Link is the quickest filly in this race. And you look, I know all 4 of her wins have come on turf. You look at the first start of her career. She actually debuted on dirt at Gulfstream, going 4.5 furlongs. She had a 3-length lead into the stretch, and I know she got run down and ran 3rd. But she can run on dirt. Blinkers come off today. Quickest of the quick, get from the gate. She's got a 5-pound bug in Jose Gomez, who knows his job is to get to the front. And turf speed, you know, it doesn't always translate. Dirt speed going to turf.
Right.
Turf speed usually does more so translate. And the quick turf horses are usually just as quick on dirt as they are on turf. I think she's going to be in front, hopefully by herself, and she can go gate to wire.
And this kid's one of our, if not our best gate rider in the colony right now. The kid's unbelievable on the front end. He's an excellent rider, polished rider all around for a 5-pound bug. Looking to get to 100 wins. Looking to get to 100 wins on the year, and really just grab that Eclipse Award by the throat. I'm a big fan of his. And, yeah, I mean, look, when you have a filly like Missing Link draw on the inside, she's obviously under the gun, and the kid knows what he has to do. But, man, Grudge is fast, and she's going to have to deal with Grudge early on. There's no way around it.
Race 2. 6 furlongs, just on the inner turf. New York Breds, maiden special weight. And we're going to take a look at Saratoga Gaze in here. Is going to be coming back off the bench for Christophe Clement. This race back on November 21st was the last time she ran against Palace Gossip, who was loose on the lead. Went gate to wire in here. I liked what she showed in here. And Sinfully Sweet has been a horse who's just been amazingly still has not been able to break through and get that maiden win, but a horse who has some talent.
Going to watch this replay from Saratoga Gaze.
I think we are.
That we got that, guys? There we go.
And
2
let's
seconds
look at the start here. The start bumped. She actually caused it. But look how quick she comes out of there as well. I thought that start was kind of a non-factor. She showed some athleticism, too. She cuts the corner and makes up some ground in here. I thought she was just the best in here of those who've run.
And Christophe's horses, for the most part, have come back ready to run first time out. Historically, they've needed a race. But he's run quite a few horses at this meet that have come back firing.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Look, a couple of seconds in a third. The excuses start to pile up for a filly who, she's a nice check getter. Easy to spot her, too, in those legendary Generazio silks, the Kelly green and the pink. She's going to be 4 to 5 in here. I had to take a little shot against her. This starts the triple play, by the way. The triple play today is all turf, races 2, 5, and 9. I put a play together. We had it on America's Day at the Races yesterday.
All right, I'll let you make your case real quick, though. I just want to mention the 2 who we both have in there. Dam actually won her debut at a mile in the dirt. It's the first full. The Grand Dam, Grade 1 winner is a 2-year-old on dirt and a stakes winner on turf at a mile, Cindy's Hero. So there's turf pedigree there.
Yeah, there is. And Michelle Hemingway, daughter of Ian Hemingway, has done a good job with the limited runners she's had so far here in the Big Apple. Is the first full out of that dam as well. Admaka, the Jorge Abreu barn was bound to start heating up. And it's happening at the perfect time of year for most barns, 2 weeks before Saratoga. He's won races on consecutive days, got the job done with Busy Morning in basically the split version of this race yesterday to wrap up the card. I thought this filly ran well first time. I think the 7/8 under her belt, cutting back to the 6 is really going to help. She kind of chased that day. There's not a ton of speed in here, Greg. Road to Remember has some speed on the outside. It's part of the reason I want to use her. If you're playing a pick 4 and you're spreading here, I would use her. But I went to 4s and 5s in the triple play, thinking that Ad Maka, with the race under her belt, going to 7, cutting back to 6 is going to be beneficial.
Yeah, Dan produced 2 multiple winners on the grass. I didn't love the fact she took a little while to finally switch leads, and when she did, she still didn't make up any ground. But again, Sinfully Sweet shows up there, who's talented. I know still hasn't won, but maybe we'll see that improvement second time out.
Yeah, so you're hoping. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
That starts, as you said, the triple play pick 3. Again, races 2, 5, and 9 also starts the pick 4. Race 3, back on the main track, mile and a 16th. New York bred allowance optional claiming race in here, and start with your horse here, Prince of Pharaoh's the 6th.
You know, keep talking about the skip button. This was a very tough race for me to handicap. Some of you out there might think they all are, but this was a tough one for me.
I thought this was one of the toughest on the card.
I did not want to pick Prince of Pharaohs because in my head, I think that he doesn't want to go this far. But I'm going to say this. With Control Group's last 3 or 4 races, and we haven't seen Control Group now since back in October. Control Group's last 3 or 4 races, and the rest of this field, boy, is he supposed to have a loose lead in here. And it's something he hasn't had in a long time. I don't know why Linda Rice and his various riders have decided to take him off the pace recently. I know he's coming out of sprint races, but even in the mile races in the winter at Aqueduct, they were taking him off the pace. There was some real tepid paces that he was off. I know he was running against horses like Yankee Division and Water's Edge, who's now a stakes winner. I get all that. But they took this horse's biggest weapon away. Today, you would have to imagine Kendrick is going to use his weapon. He's going to be a big enough price where I wanted to take a little shot with him today. By no means do I want to lean on him in any way. I just feel like he has a tactical edge on this field, and if they finally let him use his speed, maybe he can pull a robbery on them on the front end. But by no means do I have a ton of trust or want to lean on him heavily in here. But at the price, he's going to be 5-1. I'll take a shot. I'm a sucker for loose speed. I mean, this horse is supposed to be 3 in front today. If Kendrick rides him the way he's supposed to ride him, he's just faster than the rest of these horses early, especially if the form Control Group was in. I mean, Control Group lost all of his speed.
Yeah, but you go back to his ability to finish going longer, and it's a big question mark, but there's question marks with everybody in here.
He's been asked to do it under less than ideal circumstances for him. Now he's going to be asked to do it, I think, doing what he wants to do, and that's lead the pack.
Yeah, I was with you with Control Group. I don't trust him at all off the bench, and his last 2 have been so bad. So horses won over 880,000. I wanted to take a pass on him. I really think Vintage Hollywood is going to take a move forward today, and he's going to be in the mix. He's paired up numbers his last 2 starts, and that's prime for a move forward for this horse. But I thought Tiergan, for Linda Rice, she wills him back in 10 days. You know, that's a move of confidence by her. Perceived to beat him last time out. Perceived all of a sudden has turned into a really nice horse, as we just had a bird crash into our window. I hope the bird's okay. Has actually won 3 of the last 5. Got a 92 buyer speed figure in that race and just rolled by everybody. I know this horse isn't the horse we saw 4 starts back when he got that 96 buyer, but I don't think he has to be. His numbers, his last few starts are good enough to handle this field. I thought the X Factor horse in here was State Planning. Obviously, the Peter Pan was over his head, but even those 2 starts before that, specifically that first try against Winners, if he can repeat that and maybe even move forward a little bit, he's an interesting horse as a 3-year-old against olders in here.
Yeah, I don't disagree. He gets his Lasix back. That was a big effort. I know Pineapple Man kind of came back to him 2 starts back. But, yeah, that was a big effort. I got him 4th. You have him 3rd. I thought Vintage Hollywood would sit off of Prince of Pharaohs, and I just want the horse that's going to pick him up if Prince of Pharaohs doesn't continue on, I would imagine Vintage Hollywood picks him up. And now the bird is on our side of the window. That's good.
There we go. He made it out safely.
Beautiful.
All right, race 4. Pick 6 begins in the 4th at 6.5 furlongs, maiden special weight. Interesting race. There's some pedigrees in here. There is a horse who I shamelessly went to, Triple Elvis. Start number 4 for this Chad Brown runner, Peter Brandt.
Are you an Elvis fan, Greg?
You have to. Who's
I mean,
not
who's
an
not,
Elvis
right?
fan? I have to be an Elvis fan.
Elvis Beatles. I go Elvis in that
Absolutely.
spot. Yeah.
Oh, you go Elvis.
I
over
go
Beatles?
Elvis and I go Elvis in that spot. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
It's
going to
not
go
a
that far.
popular.
It's
I know it's not a
1-1A.
popular
It's 1-1A.
decision. Yeah.
We're going to show this race from Triple Elvis last time. He's faced some tough horses. First time out, he faced Major General, who of course won the Iroquois, was second in Lexington. Then he faced Verratti, who was second to maybe one of the top sprinters in the country, a horse named Conager, who's come out of nowhere to be a sensation. This was his 3rd start. He broke extremely sharp out of the gate. He has the speed to be forward on the front end. Duels with Provocateur, even though I know he has the lead on him at this point. But Provocateur is right there harassing him. Going to put this horse away, and then a horse is going to come and grab him from well off the pace. This 2-horse graphic detail. I think today, off the bench, 3-year-old debuts the day for him.
It's a giant effort. It's on Breeders' Cup Friday, and you think he's going to get the job done here after doing all that. You know, he kind of deserved to win this race because he just did all that heavy lifting early on. He's ripe for the pickings for graphic detail, who gets him in the last 3 or 4 jumps. I mean, the last guy in the world you're going to worry about bringing a horse back off a layoff is Chad Brown, right?
Still, you worry a little bit from a barn this good when he's had 3 chances, but he's faced very good horses.
When they have 3 chances, they usually it's usually an issue there. And the problem with the 3 chances is these horses always take money. So it's not even like you're going to be able to sniff out some value with him. Look, I was told the 1 can fly. He doesn't have any wings like Pegasus, but I was told that St. Tappet can fly. David installed him as the 9-5 morning line favorite. He's got an impeccable pedigree. Tappet out of Havre de Grace.
Havre de Grace Horse of the Year, won the Woodward and Apple Blossom.
Yep, 2011. 3rd consecutive filly or mare to win the Horse of the Year title. Rachel Zenyatta, Havre de Grace. I was told she can fly. When you look at a horse like Triple Elvis, you say to yourself, I don't know if I worry so much about Triple Elvis as much as I would another Chad horse because, right, if Triple Elvis was coming into this race just with the last race on his card, you'd say, we got to think about this. With the other 2 races already under his belt, I don't think about it as much. I still think about it. I just don't think about it as much. But enough where the Asmussen Firster, who you put 2nd in here, you got the Todd horse 3rd. He's a little interesting because he's been here. We haven't seen a lot of the Steve Asmussen gun runners up here. They've all been in Kentucky with him, right? Early voting was the most prolific gun runner here at the Big Apple so far. I mean, most prolific gun runner, period. This horse is an interesting work tab. You know, the gate works are not that flashy, but they seem to be a little bit better than the works from the pole. He's got the outside draw. He gets Joel. I don't know. Something.
In a good way.
Yeah, something's just telling me this horse can run. I don't have any information about this, but this is a strange-looking work tab. He gets the extra half furlong on the debut. I think this horse is going to be live today.
1 3/5 work out of the gate. 2nd quickest at 20 in the morning. It's a gun runner. The 2nd dam was the tremendous Flute, who won the Kentucky Oaks in the Alabama. So there's some pedigree that this horse can run. You worry a little bit about being a first-time starter on the outside because the horse can break to the outside. We'll see. But
Steve's horse is usually, and this horse has been in New York with Toby Sheets for a while now, since the beginning of spring. Yeah, this horse has 10 works over the training track. I would imagine they're walking over here meaning business today. But they run into a very well-meant firster.
Do you think that St. Tappet is going to be hammered on the board?
He'll be even money.
Words out.
I heard he's very, very talented.
We will see. That kicks off the pick 6. Late pick 5, then we break?
After the 5th, yes.
All right, so late pick 5 begins on the turf, 7 furlongs, 35,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime, the condition for this group. And let's start with your selection here, Stella Mars. I actually think Stella Mars is going to step forward and run a big race
We both
today.
went off the reservation a little bit here, huh?
Yeah.
Love it. This is that kind of race, right? This is the kind of race where you kind of feel like I want to take some chances. I don't necessarily trust some of the favorites in here. I don't know who the favorite. I guess Blissful Change, who I put second in here. You don't even have Blissful
It probably
Change
would have
on
been the
board.
two who comes out, right?
Right. Yeah, it would have been Translate, but now it'll probably be Blissful Change. So Stella Mars, couple of races off the layoff. She's protected in the starter races. I didn't think she ran that badly 2 starts back. Last time, I don't love her last race. She did not take any step forward. I don't love her last race. I don't like that race as a whole. But I'm willing to give her a chance. You see, you can give a horse a chance off of a race like that at 15-1. You can't do it at 5-1. I'd be more apt to give her a chance than Triple Elvis. Triple Elvis ran much better than she did off the break before the layoff last time. But I'd be much more willing to forgive that effort last time from her than I would from his defeat back in November. And the biggest part of that reason is one of them's going to be 5-2, and one of them's going to be 12-1. You can give her from a wagering point of view, you can give her a pass on the last race. She gets Joel Rosario. These are the kind of horses Joel wins with. Sit, patient, 1 run, right? She gets the extra 7. She gets the extra furlong today too. She's never been 7. But it's not like she's gotten these monumental paces to close into when she's 1 going 6. So I believe that distance, that extra furlong, will be her friend. She's a big enough price for me to find out all of these things. If the last race was just an aberration, if she wants the extra furlong at 10-1, I'll find out. If she's on the board at 5 or 6-1, I would think twice about taking her in the win pool. But if she's double digits, I think she's worth a bet today.
Yeah, she's going to need pace to run into, but
I don't think she does, because there's been a lack of pace in her wins, and she still came running, which is what impresses me. I think the extra furlong helps her even more because of that reason.
All right, we'll see. Her last 2 starts, she did pair up numbers, which means usually a step forward's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I think she gets a piece of it. I liked High School Crush, and you got to go all the way back to October 17th. The last time that she was on the grass of last year at Belmont. It was here at Belmont, and it was this on the Widener, that was on the inner. She looked really good in this win. It was for 30 non-winners of 2. She was forward, not on the pace, sitting just off of it. I think she can get another trip like that again today. And then she just found another gear and crushed that field, winning by 2 1/4 lengths. She looked impressive in that race, and she's better on grass. She's coming off a figure that matches up with some of her best dirt numbers she's ever run, and now she's getting back on her preferred surface. I think she's going to be dangerous at a huge number in here. Yeah, and there's no one I think that's a standout really in this race.
No standout.
The 3 I felt is a big question mark at 7 furlongs. I don't know how you felt.
I do. I put her third. So the triple play ticket, it's just 6 and 10 now because Translate scratched out. So just using the 6 and 10 in here. But yeah, I thought Lioness of Brittany, the extra furlong scared me. She didn't run well in the Swedish Chant in the 2-turn race. But the truth of the matter is here, Greg, I mean, you look, and I'm giving it one more look. Unless Get the Candy, the number 8, comes out of there firing, there's not a lot of speed in here. So Johnny Velasquez might sit a good trip with her either right off of the 8, Get the Candy, or in front. But yes, the 7 furlongs is a concern.
No 12 for you. My Sweet Wife, I think, is going to might be second choice in this race. I tend to distrust that Gulfstream form a little bit. But this one is going to take money. She does have figures that put her right in the mix as one of the top in the field.
Yeah. She's cutting back. Her sprint races were, again, so much better up here last fall. But she's had a couple of layoffs on her card now. She could beat me. I hope she doesn't, but she could beat me.
All right. She's 0 for 9, looking for her first win on the turf, but figure-wise, she matches up, no question. Quick break, and then we come back with a late pick 4.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
All right, so we pick things back up here talking horses with the late pick 4. Maiden special weight, 6.5 furlong sprints. And how are you saying the name of this horse?
Accretive?
Okay, there you go. I made it too difficult. Chad Brown, Klarovich, first-time starter. They have Irad, been working at Monmouth for the debut coming up.
I used to hate this. I used to disregard the Chad horses that worked at Monmouth. You know how I learned not to? The tally in my Naira Bets account kept getting lower instead of higher in certain maiden races. So there's a lot of, for an older horse race, right? It's the firsters are all 3-year-olds, the 5 firsters in here. There's a lot of firsters in here for a race in, the last week of June. Awful lot of first-time starters. So I think you always keep that in the back of your mind. And most people I know, my mom, for example, who taught me how to handicap, would give more of a look to the runners with that in mind. Middle of June, and you have Barnes. Rudy runs enough 2-year-olds. Chris Englehart runs 2-year-olds. Dom Scatino runs his share. Certainly Todd and Chad run a zillion 2-year-olds. All these horses kind of late developing. You keep that in mind. With that said, I did go to Accretive, but by no means do I not think the horse to beat in here is the number 6, Southern Flag, who we haven't seen now. Speaking of, this horse debuted in May of his 3-year-old year.
Yeah.
We have not seen him now for almost a year, just about 48 weeks. And, but you see Miles D. He
Ducal
Yeah.
for Brad Cox, who's really good. He's
Right.
faced some good ones.
Gets Jose Lascano was aboard for his debut. He's been training nicely up in Saratoga for his return. He's obviously the horse to beat. I took a little shot with the Chad first. I don't have any information. I like the work tab down at Monmouth. This horse seems to be working well. I like the gate breeze and then a pole breeze before the race. But it's been a sharp work tab at Monmouth Park. So I took a little stab. Not even a stab. The horse is going to be first or second choice.
Yeah.
I put Accretive on top of Southern Flag. I want to see the horse. I want to see Southern Flag. Even though Bill Mott has good numbers on the short numbers, he's just about 25% plus 180 days. So 8s and 6s for me. I didn't really see much else going on in here.
Yeah, Credit of the Dam actually was a 2-time winning sprinter. Did produce a first-time out winner who was chained by Chad Brown, Saratoga Affair. Practical Jokes, about 17% first time out. The horses has some sharp works.
Yeah.
He always has them ready to go. Horse is a major player. Saratoga Flag, we talked about who he's faced. Ducal's really good. That horse is a big-time runner.
Mm-hmm.
Miles D, sensational runners in the mix in the handicap division. And the comeback, I think this is the first time he's going to go this short, 6.5 furlongs. But they put a 3-furlong bullet drill into him, I think, to get him ready for this type of a race. And I think he's going to be sharp for it. I want to mention the Run Happy, too. I threw the 3 in there. Second, Happy Bob. That's the son of Run Happy for Schettino. Dam was winless, but produced a 10-time winner on dirt who did win first time out. And you see some sharp drills from this horse, too.
I don't remember if we got this in yesterday, but congrats to Dom. He got his 500th career training win on Friday.
Nice.
That's a fantastic number. I know Dom a long time. Dom's a good friend and a good horseman. He learned from some of the sharpest and shrewdest guys around the game when he was younger. And I know Dom about 35 years at this point, so I was really happy to see him. I know his daughter Alyssa's a big part of the team now as well, so I'm sure I know they were really excited to get that win. Yeah, the Run Happies, they've certainly come around now. The Bullet Gate, a couple of nice gate drills. You reach out for Kendrick, so you're automatically thinking, all right, this horse may have a little gas early on. We'll see how Happy Bob does.
And we can't move on without, apparently there's a story that you were part of with the one horse.
I've already lost money on Naked and Famous 2 summers ago at Saratoga. Libby Imperio, of course, our leader over at the Belmont Child Care Association, and Sophia Suarez, who Bella Sophia, multiple Grade 1 winners named after. We were sitting at 15 Church in Saratoga, and they were thinking of a name for this horse, and they came up with Naked and Famous. And I said, you're not getting Naked and Famous through the Jockey Club. And Libby said, you want to bet $20? I said, sure. So we bet $20, and about 10 days later, I got the text confirmation that Naked and Famous was, in fact, Naked and Famous.
And is there anything to that name?
Went to
or
the
it was
Saratoga.
just
No, they were just, I can't remember who won, but we were celebrating a win. Rudy was celebrating a win, 15 Church. I ran into everybody. So I'm stuck 20 on Naked and Famous before he ever walked into a starting gate.
What about, have you heard anything about his ability?
I have not. He was entered for a tag twice, and he winds up in here. So, but they were looking to run Bella Sofia for 20,000. So there's always that.
Mention the 5 real quick and we'll move on. Sol Farrell.
The other Mott.
Yeah, the other Mott. The only time this horse ran on dirt was at a mile and had to go against early voting an Iconic Adventure who came back to win next time out.
Yep,
But you had to go against your Preakness winner.
His fellow barn-mate Iconic Adventure who won a loaded up maiden special weight race down at Gulfstream Park in the subsequent start. Yeah, he was a little interesting. Another one coming off the long layoff. Not quite the 180 days, just under that tab. But yeah, Bill's numbers off the layoff, right around 25% with everything, which is pretty impressive. He's going to be a sneaky good price, too. Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about impulsiveness. Pletcher, first time out, quality road. Dam actually produced Winterpool, who's a 3-time winner, has produced multiple races with 90 or better buyers.
It's an interesting race. It's an interesting race.
All right, race 7, 6 furlongs, back on the turf. It's on the inner turf. State bred allowance optional claiming race. Start with who you like in here, the 6.
This was another race. I thought this race was 5, 6, and 7, and I am going to gravitate towards Joel Rosario, and I'm going to gravitate towards the bigger price. I think Joel's going to fit Panster well. See what I did there? Fit Panster. You have Not Far Now in here. You have Running with Scissors. You have Shiraz for to a lesser extent. You have Deep Cover. There's some pace in here. At the very least, Deep Covers puts enough pace on. I think the others can be, and Not Far Now should be able to sizzle a little on the front end, and I think it gives Panster something he really hasn't had in his races recently, and that's a pace to run at. When he had a pace to run at last fall at Aqueduct, he got the job done. So hopefully he gets a little pace. Ride a change to Joel. See if we get the job done at 4-1.
All right. Real quick with Running with Scissors before I get to Deep Cover. 4 horse, he's 15-1. This horse was actually putting in a pretty good run. He was last early, got shut off on the rail. Then he had to go wide around on the stretch, and the rail was all the way out also. I thought the horse actually put in a pretty good performance. I know he only beat a couple of horses, though, but that was the first time on the turf for him. I expect to see a lot of improvement from Running with Scissors. I don't know if he's good enough to win, but I think he can certainly get a piece of it. I went to Deep Cover here. Look, you win by 5 3/4 lengths, sprinting 6 furlongs on a yielding turf. You're dominant. And this is a look at that when it was back on May 21st. Just draws off from this field. Tom Morley, Castellano, my racehorse, so he's going to get tons of money on the board. We know that much.
He'll open 8-5.
He showed ability.
Yeah. Cotton came back to win his subsequent start. I think that's worth noting in here. Cotton did not have the greatest of trips this day. And he got the better trip when he got the money last week. Yeah, I mean, he's very logical in here. If he didn't have to deal with Not Far Now, his chances I think would greatly improve, but he certainly can win this race.
And being that he's a my racehorse,
he's going to be a big favorite. What do we do with Phantom Smoke? Phantom Smoke had numbers as a 3-year-old. If he takes the routine improvement forward from 3 to 4, he's a fresh gelding for Christoph, reaches out for Rod Ortiz Jr. I thought he made a lot of sense, too.
I had him second.
Yeah, he has more speed than Panster does. He could be in the right spot under Arad. I thought he was, I put him second as well.
I preferred him over Panster. But, yeah, he's definitely going to have first run on that horse.
Yeah.
New gelding for Clement. We talked about Clement being, it seems, a lot better with his layoff horses this meet than he has been in the past.
Yeah, him, his son Miguel up in Saratoga, you have to adapt. You have to. If something doesn't work in this day and age, I think even more so than 20, 30, 40 years ago, you have to make some alterations. And the great trainers, and Christophe Clement to me is a great trainer, they make them.
Interesting 7th race. The 8th, the feature. Dancing Renee, fillies and mares 4 and up, 6 furlong sprint for New York breds in here. And some good stories in this race. One of them's Kept Waiting, who it was a turf horse, turf filly. Rob Falcone. Had to put her on the dirt. There were no races to go to, and she became kind of a dirt sensation, reeled off back-to-back victories impressively, and even ran very good in that Grade 3 distaff against Glass Ceiling. Last start in the Vagrancy was a bit of a no-show, but now she's back in against state bred.
That was a day where a lot of Rob's horses just did not run well. He thought he was going to have a big day, and nobody ran well. She kind of got bothered leaving out of there, rushed a little bit, chasing Bella Sofia. I'm not going to hold that against her, Listen, this is a filly who over the winter made $100,000 in a week on a surface she had never tried before in the afternoon. So, yeah, like you mentioned, glass ceiling. Robbie's done a really good job managing this mare, getting her the stakes win in the Broadway, getting her the black type against Open Company in the distaff. She came back to beat Search Results. How well has Search Results been? Won the Shoe V. Huge effort in the Phipps, doing all the dirty work with Latruska. The last race is a concern. But I think, again, on a day where a lot of Rob's horses just didn't fire, maybe she rebounds. We'll see what kind of trip she works out to from the rail.
2 of the speeds taken out in here. I know
Yeah.
I don't know that they had a chance to win the race, but they would have impacted it from a pace standpoint. The 4 and the 5 coming out. How aggressive is Carmouche going to be with kept waiting?
He can be as aggressive as he wants. The scratches really, really help the important one.
No question.
Because the important one does her best work clearly on the front end. And now it's a lot less crowded. And she was dealing with, let's be honest here. Queenarella was the speed of the Queenarella's fast. And she doesn't have to deal with her now. And I think Queenarella and the important one were the speeds of the speed. And now, when one comes out, that leaves the important one as the speed of the speed. She has to deal with a December layoff. She's 2 for 2 here at Belmont, 2 for 3 with a third at the 6 furlong distance. So,
and when she got beat by Banksting, that was at 7. She's better at 6 for Banksting. Let's get to her right now. We both picked her on top. She's going to be the favorite in here. She's never gone 6 furlongs. Can she get it done at this short of a distance?
I think she will. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. She's run well enough at 7, and she has enough tactical speed where I'm not saying she's going to be on top of the pace, but she's not going to be 10 off of it. I don't know what happened last time. She was a little lethargic last time. I know it was it was her biggest fig ever, and I thought she did not come with her best effort. You could look at that 2 ways. It's a fast race, and she kind of inherited a figure that Make Mischief earned, or it was just she ran into a buzzsaw that day. I kind of think she ran into a buzzsaw, and she may not have fired that day. I think there might be a little bit of both. I'll give her the chance going in 3/4. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And I'm a guy that worries about distance, but I think there's enough speed in here to go after the important one. She has to deal with the layoff.
I question her a little bit in here, even though she's as quick as she is, and she's good at 6 furlongs. That's a question mark.
I think time limit is very interesting in here. I think if somebody beats Banksting, it'll be time limit. I think she could work out the right trip as well. She gets a rad. She gets second start off a 3-month break. She ran against the filly, and Joy's Rocket was won on every surface. Filled the spirit, came back to win after that. She ran a good fig down at Laurel in the Summer, 3 starts back when she got a good trip and got the job done. But she's kind of turned into a nice little filly. She runs on all surfaces. Probably best on turf and fast ground. Probably a little weaker on the wet tracks. And when kept waiting beat her, it was a completely sloppy sealed track over at the Big A. I think she might be interesting at a price in here.
And I'll say this, I didn't use her. Snickett's last race, I don't think she liked that sloppy track. She had put together a couple of races that if she could move forward off that a little, she'd paired up numbers. She's in the mix to get a piece of it.
She's got to get a little faster to win. But, yeah, I mean, exact the try super, not another question. At a big price.
Close out the card, Mile on the Turf, New York bred, $40,000 maiden claiming race on the Widener. So they start from that chute. And Smoking Hot Kitty, Clement, Dylan Davis for you. Dylan Davis trying to hang on to that riding title.
Keep it simple, stupid. I'm telling myself that. I took the 4 droppers in here. That's all I did. Smoking Hot Kitty went from 6 to 7 to the mile. I'm hoping the drop in class and the extra distance she's by Kitten's Joy helps her cause. Our Jessica, she takes the drop as well. And then latest edition had the race going 7 last time out. Hopefully there's improvement there, though. I don't know about the Lord Nelson wanting to get the mile. And the rail filly is interesting to me because I feel like there were no blinkers the first time out. Then the blinkers went on at Gulfstream in the Open Company race. Then she comes back off of the long layoff, the 6 months. And now she gets Trevor. She gets the second start off the break. She draws inside. It's the widener, not the inner, so it's not that as big a deal as it would be if it was on the inner. But I thought she was a little interesting. I would need a little bit of a better price on her, but I closed out the triple play. Remember, the triple play today is all turf, 2, 5, and 9 of the races. I closed it out with these 4, 1, 2, 5. Oh, you have the same 4. Yeah.
Same 4.
All the droppers.
I'll show you the race from the 5 that I really liked here. Our Jessica was the first time that she was on the turf. This was back on April 10th, and gets bumped at the break in here, and winds up getting squeezed a little bit and has to take back. Winds up wide, and I love the finish she shows in this race. She's one, as you said, and that's why I did the same thing. We all took the droppers in here, but we'll take a look at her stretch run, and I really like this performance from her. You get Jose Ortiz, who will be back aboard. He was aboard her last time, so it gets to know her a little bit. I like the familiarity back on board. David Donk.
Took the 4 droppers, 1, 2, 5, and 9, but I would say it would be 5 and 9, then 1 and 2.
I agree.
Like that.
I agree.
Right. You
5
went
and
5,
9.
9, I went 9, 5.
Yep, those 2 are going to be no question, the top 2 in there. And you see her winding up second there, beats the rest of this bunch. Now, she went a little bit backwards in those next couple of starts, but she gets, as we talked about, easier company today.
Yeah. See how it wraps up on this, wrap the week and the day on the Sunday finale.
Feel good today?
Yes, I feel good.
Looking good.
Cracking the neck. Thank you, sir. You too.
That's
Feeling
the card
good, Lewis.
for this Sunday afternoon. Hope you enjoy it. We're about, 45 minutes away from the first coming up, that early Pick 5 pool, 122,000 and growing. It's an interesting card. There's some good races here, some good first-time starters, some big pedigrees.
You know where you can play them all, right?
Where?
Naira Bets. Even
that.
Javi knows. My man Bob Edwards. Bob Edwards giving you the 17-day warning, my man. See you in Saratoga.
Match 200, that code to use for new members. Go to NairaBets.com or download the app and take advantage of that $200 deposit match sign-up bonus.
Love this. $20 a day for the next 5 days, Monday through Friday. There will be plays up at Naira Bets. We'll tweet them out as well. Bet $20 each day, and next Saturday you'll have $20 in your account, win or lose. Head over to NairaBets.com. Opt in to all of our great promotions. Check NairaBets.com for more details.
Last but not least, $10 bonus. Bet $50 each on Belmont, Monmouth, and you'll get $10 in your account whether you win or lose. Got to opt in for that one as well at Naira Bets. Good luck today, everybody. That's when we're on, 12:30 Eastern. Wow, we're on in 15 minutes here.
Yes, sir.
See you on FS1 in just a few minutes.
Yep. See you in 15. Johnny I, reprise of the scratches and changes before we kick things off over on America's Day at the Races.